U7 Buy provides the most convenient, fastest, and safest way to upgrade your team with numerous positive reviews and verified by top creators from different countries with 24/7 online customer support. Before the end of October, all users who place an order for FC26 coins on U7 Buy for their first order of FC26 coins can enjoy a plus 10% coin bonus. Using my discount code Inception can get an additional 8% discount. Okay guys, so today we're gonna be checking out the new evolution. Apparently the evolution today is actually pretty sick, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check it out. I probably will do the review for Retin as well. I'm just gonna do the evolution video first because I gotta take a break in between the gameplay, you know, especially during the weekends. You guys know how that goes. But excuse me, the evolution for today is going to be called, excuse me, Song of Touré. So with this one, guys, you're going to have a lot of different options that you could potentially work with, which is going to be really cool. I've already seen some of the top choices that are here that could honestly be really, really good. Camavinga is going to be the main card that's going to be trending for this while chaining some of the other evolutions like a speed surge. What's interesting about this card, guys, is that he's kind of gotten to a point now where, to be honest with you, if you wanted to use a card like this in the left back position, excuse me, you could totally do that, right? On a shadow chemistry style, he's a lengthy with 94 acceleration, 95 for sprint speed. He's got quick step, bruiser, jockey, enforcer, incisive pass. Incisive pass in the fullback position is brilliant, by the ways. So I would really look into something like this to be played in a position like that. Could you also play him in some of the other positions? You definitely could. Yeah, I could see him totally being a really good CDM on the holding plus, right? Obviously, he doesn't really have intercepts, so that's why, like, all the play styles that he has, it makes me really want to use him as a left back, for me personally, right? Center mid could definitely be really cool too on the box to box because he is an all-round sort of player, right? But because of the shooting stats and the way that he's generally formatted, I'm telling you guys, like, if you're really looking into the evolutions, doing this for 50k and then putting him in the left back position, I think could actually cook. Because when I was using this card in the beginning of the year and I gave him a shadow, he just got to a point where I'm like, oh, he's too slow, but like he has like really good potential in that left back area, because when it comes to like the engagements, it actually worked out great because he had the bruiser, he's a 6'1" player, right? So on and so forth. So I think this card in that area could absolutely cook, right? This is a fantastic player. Loftus-Cheek is the other card here that's always going to get, he's always going to get cards, right? This card on a shadow chemistry style, again, very similar situation to Camavinga. He does have the lengthy on him. Because of his agility and balance, I'd probably use him mainly as a CDM compared to a center mid. You could use him as a center mid for sure. I think the press proven could potentially compensate for it. The way that I'm kind of seeing it is a player that plays in the center mid position that just feels all-rounded, right? It's like, I think lengthy could potentially really push them into those like attacking AI situations where they could potentially score some really good opportunities. What's really good about these sort of evolutions, guys, because of the chain that you do with speed surge, is the quick step part, right? Because you're giving a quick step to a lengthy player. So if you're facing these people that constantly go for the through balls all the time, it's really helpful to have that on the defenders mainly, but even in the midfield position, with the passing being improved on this card, incisive in any of the midfield positions or the fullback area would definitely be a nice added plus for sure, right? Zaire-Emery could be an interesting one as well. I don't really mind this one. I'm not going to mind any of these ones, to be honest with you guys. I think most of them are going to be really cool in their own ways. And I mainly think it's because you can play them as CDMs, right? So it's like, oh, my agility and balance is not the greatest, but dude, you have a player that has tiki-taka, incisive pass. Like, these are the types of players, like these guys right here are the types of players that most people are using in the midfield setup. It's not like back in the day where, you know, players would use players like Tchouaméni, Casemiro, those types of guys, like the defensive wall type of players. Like, people don't really go for that nowadays, unless they did like the Sergio Busquets SPC, but even still, he doesn't have like intercept and stuff, but his lengthy with his height is what makes him do defensive plays, right? It would be a very similar situation to some of these other cards, like Zaire-Emery in the CDM position. You can imagine it, right? Like, first of all, on Box Crasher, that could be really cool if you actually use unique tactics, because with this card, again, probably give him a shadow. He's given a quick step with the speed surge and stuff. Really, really cool stuff there. Here's the thing, guys. with these evolutions, like even if you don't give speed surge, they could still be really nice, but the speed surge is what's really adding to it to be like really sick, right? That's why people are waiting to see what the full chain evils are for these things, right? But yeah, no, Zaire-Emery, really good links, French, PSG, League One, lots to work with there, right? Thuram, as you guys know, Thuram is usually that guy that you use in the beginning of the year because he offers a solid defensive presence. I think people will be less interested in this card compared to some other cards for sure, but I think defensively, even though he doesn't really have too many other playstyles, I could still see him doing a decent job. But I say the word decent because defensive playstyles in this game are very important, right? But again, another similar situation where you can give him a shadow, he gets that defensive boost. But this one right here is an example of a card that you're upgrading that does not get the speed surge, right? So I think speed surge is what really makes this sort of evolution really pop, right? Because obviously your pace is lower, but the thing is that he is a lengthy. And again, if you play him in the CDM position with the incisive pass, with the pinged pass, it could still be really good. He even still has the press proven too. So if he's under pressure and you're timing your shield touches really well, you could still cook with a card like that as well, right? Luka Modric gets a pretty significant upgrade. These right here, like this type of card is what I'm talking about when it comes to using a cool center mid, right? Because the other example of this is Bernardo Silva, right? So if you guys actually use formations where, you know, you're using cards in the center mid position specifically, and I think it's all the people that are using 4-5-1 to be honest, you guys should actually give this card a try in the center mid area just on a shadow chemistry style. If you play authentic formations, like he cooks when it comes to the attacking AI getting involved, but even with the shadow or the hunter, it's just that like extra presence for the passing and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what it is with a card like Modric too. Like you get really cool links with him, right? This is a direct upgrade, so you don't have to worry about giving him the speed surge, but he's actually pretty well formatted because even with the shooting being at 75, right? 75 is still decent enough to play in the center mid position because he has low driven. So if he gets inside the 18-yard box, that play style is disgusting to have in this game, right? Incisive pass is big to have in the center mid position, but just general passing, right? His passing is really high. He has a long ball as well. Enforcer, press proven. So a lot of variables to work with there too. So pretty cool for the links, right? You have a more attacking oriented center mid that plays in that position, but could still absolutely cook people for sure. Kobe Mainoo. This one is a really cool card, but it's a cool card in the sense of, you know, you focusing on the stat improvements of it, right? Because with these cards over here, obviously they don't have the incisive pass. With Kobe, you are improving it in a way where you're just giving him the stat improvements, right? Which is not bad because honestly, with this card, you would go again with the shadow chemistry style, increase certain areas of the card. I will say though that without the speed boost on him, and no lengthy, it's a little bit of a downfall, a tiny bit, right? But Kobe Mainoo was actually like not bad to use when he first came out. I used him on some people's accounts, just never really did his review. But shadow chemistry style for this card with that pace and defensive boost, again, really well formatted for the most part. You could still do a really good job with this card. I just personally want to go down this route because the playstyle plus is really wasted. Because incisive pass is really good. If you give it to the right players, it could be really sick, right? With Modric, what's interesting about this card that we do have to mention as well is that, again, if you're playing like authentic football, right, this guy could actually be a good cam, but you would have to see it in game because he doesn't have any of the roles that most people use, right? So let's say, you know, you gave him a hunter to increase his shooting. I would say the shooting is not really high enough, right? So that's where you would still use him as a center mid. So when you see stuff like that, it's kind of like, you know. Kante gets an improvement as well. So this is actually pretty helpful for the Saudi League links as well. Mainly to Benzema, right? If you use like a Benzema card or any sort of evolution for Benzema, it's a very solid improvement as well. I will say with a card like this, you're working with someone that is more agile to intercept the ball. But I will say that for me personally, I notice more of a difference with the taller, more physical players using intercept than I do with the smaller players. Could this be a really big difference for a card like N'Golo Kante in this current meta? Yeah, because there's a lot of stat improvements for him. There's potential to even use him as a center mid if you really want to. A lot of people use formations that have Playmaker Plus in that area. The reason why I'm saying this is because they actually gave him significant shooting stats. So what it would be with a card like Kante is like, if you're playing 4-5-1, right, and you have intercept is still fantastic to have as a sided position player. But again, even if you were to use him right down the middle in the center mid position, he could do a solid job there, but it would mainly be like for the CDM stuff. What's really cool about this Kante card as well, that we do have to mention, is that if you use like the authentic 4-2-3-1 wide formations that we use, he also has the box crasher while having good shooting, right? So it's like having a player that feels more agile to move across the pitch, but has really good work rates in game because he has like the relentless and stuff to score and defend for you in a lot of situations. The only thing that you'll notice is height and physical in certain defensive areas in the midfield setup, right? But again, he could still absolutely cook for sure. We have João Neves who gets a card. João Neves has like promo cards. Like this promo card when it first came out was actually pretty solid, but obviously this card receives a pretty significant upgrade. Again, with cards like this, it's because you have the intention of using them as a center mid, right? So let's say, for instance, you guys use any sort of formation that uses box to box in the center mid position. You have that as a playstyle plus. The CDM stuff is cool, but he doesn't really have too many like defensive stuff for that. But honestly, in this year's game, it doesn't really matter as much. A lot of people use midfielders that don't have defensive capabilities in that area and still do a pretty solid job because of other things, mainly in dribbling and passing. Dribbling and passing is like the big thing to work with in the center mids area. Like that's why even in 4-4-1-1, you never really see people using like a really good holding sort of midfielder that holds that position well and defends a certain way. With João Neves, again, press proven plus being added is a huge plus. He gets very good rolls. So if you want to use him in ways where he can commit forward and also come back to help out in the defense, he can be sick in that regard too. I just think for me personally, with these types of cards, you want to use them more in like the 3 center mid setups or the 4-1-2-2 setups or the 4-3-1-2 setups, like the 3 midfields, right? The center mids or the 2 center mids and the 1 CDM, like anything like that. But even in the CDM position for a card like this that can commit forward, it's still pretty good. Let's see what else we have here. I don't know why this guy's trending. This guy is like he's like the silver card. I guess it's because it's a like direct upgrade and it's like so big that people are like, oh my god, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't really get that. Unless he's like, I don't know. It could be something that I'm not really sure of, to be honest. Dang, you can even do some crazy stuff with the evolutions from the sentimentals. Look at that. Oh, if you did everything, holy. Yeah, I mean, if you did all that, GG's. Oh, he has intercept and anticipate. What? Well, GG's to the Barca fans that did this. This is a crazy Evo. Bro, Quickstep with like Quickstep is compensating for acceleration and oh, and you can make him a lengthy too. You could actually use him on 85 and just use the Quickstep with the lengthy. That's actually pretty sick. That's not bad actually. See Ryan's card. Yeah, incisive, intercept, press, proven, and enforcer. Yeah, I mean, CDM wise, he could still be really good. He could definitely be. He could still be really good in that area. Again, these types of players I would avoid using as center mids as much. I mean, it's dependable, I guess. It depends how you format your formation and custom tactics, to be honest with you. It really does depend on that. Casemiro, though, gets an upgrade from the Inform version. First usable Casemiro card in ages. I mean, they did have that flashback card, but it wasn't that crazy, to be honest. Lengthy with a shadow. Yeah, but you don't have intercept, you don't have an anticipate, you don't have a bruiser. It's just like a bunch of passing stuff. Oh, no, you do have a bruiser. You would utilize the physical sometimes with him. But again, these types of players are not the players that people usually go for that often. I mean, like, you know what's funny? I'm saying that, but like they could still be usable. Like if you play 4-2-3-1 for sure, to be honest with you. It's just that people prefer players that feel more agile in the dribbling, right? It's because of the agility and balance being lower. It's a little bit weird. But it's not like horrible by any means, right? Zakaria. Huh, upgrading it from the Thunderstruck. That's actually hilarious. Can you imagine? This is a good evolution, though. You could definitely choose a lot of really sick stuff from this. Stiller, Camavinga, Chouameni. Yeah, Chouameni's the guy that I always used to think about. Dude, you can get some crazy cards. Look at this Andrey Santos one. Is this like available now? Yeah, it is. Oh, because of Speed Surge. Chelsea fans rejoice. Crazy pace, good defense. A lot of good stuff, to be honest. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, not bad at all, actually. Incisive, anticipate, tiki-taka. Like, honestly, a card like this in a center mid position would actually be decent. I'm more so curious about like how his dribbling would be because he's on the taller side. He's 5'11", right? He's on the taller side, but even still, like he would do really well because they gave him the passing play styles. Like that's the main things, right? Like you get incisive, you get tiki-taka, quick step to compensate for lower acceleration, lower because he's 94, right? Doesn't have to be a lengthy as well. It's a good upgrade. Dude, it improves everybody, man. This is actually nuts. Is that flashback Goretzka? Goretzka best Evo. Debatable. Debatable. Shadow chemistry style with a quick step? Oh, he doesn't have the speed surge on him. Yeah. Gomez, Andrey Santos, Henderson, Modric, Goretzka, Musa, Camavinga, Popega, Lamina. Bro, what is this Lamina upgrade? Holy. Finishing is low, which sucks. Honestly, though, like as a center mid, I wouldn't be against using this. 6 foot is a little bit shaky, a little bit. That's from the, what's that car? Foundations? Yeah, he gets the upgrade from the Foundations. Look at that. Incisive pings, press proven, relentless. Pogba gets a massive improvement. Look at that. Holy. These cards, I'm not like super against just because, I mean, honestly, if you have a card like this that has defensive stats, I would just wish he had like a tiki-taka or something on him. Like incisive pass is good, but a tiki-taka would be really sick too. But again, it doesn't matter too much. I would be a little bit concerned about the height, a little bit, but not a lot. I think he would be agile enough to be a nice center mid for sure. Center mid position definitely looks like it suits him. Yeah, you could go with a lot of options for this, guys. Like we could be here all day, to be honest. Like the sentimentals will go hard for this one. I do like the way that Camavinga looks, like meta-wise, because this game is very meta, we have to be honest. Just because of the fact that he has lengthy while being played in the left back position. Like it makes sense that he's trending the most, in my opinion, specifically for that. I think that's a really, really crazy thing for him in particular. But yeah, when it comes to deciding which one to choose, guys, you just have to look at base mechanic stuff, what you want your player to be able to do in multiple positions, and then basically go from there. Because to be honest, this is a fantastic evolution. A lot of very, very good choices. It just depends if you want to go in the more agile route or if anything, because Camavinga, for me personally, like when I'm looking at this evolution, I'm not even thinking that much about him in the center mid or CDM position. Like he just looks like a disgusting left back, to be honest. Like he really does. He doesn't have any of the roles there, but like it's really not that big of a deal if you don't have the roles in that position. He still has inverted wing back. Some people actually use that, so not bad. Even though they gave him all the roles in the midfield position, I mean, he still looks like an absolute monster. Like this is a really good card, guys. Like I can give him a shadow and still have decent physical stats too. Like, but yeah, a lot of good choices for this one. Choose depending on the types of teams that you want to build. The sentimentals look amazing for this. Like if I were to search sentimentals right now, evolution players. They're pretty good at actually giving you the meta choices just because of the play styles. Like, look at Højbjerg, bro. Yeah, because he has intercept, bruiser, pings, pass, long ball, and stuff. Like, bro, he has all the passing stuff, but then they still have intercept and bruiser on him too. Like, that's actually nuts. Unai Lopez also has an intercept as well. This guy, if he's like on the shorter end, like, dude, center midwise, he could be really sick. Gilmore getting one is really sick too. Intercept is kind of crazy. Intercept is kind of crazy. But again, it's I don't like those ones as much because it feels like you're kind of wasting it a little bit. Manchester United player. Yeah, I mean, good stuff for this one. Let me see the stuff here. Song of Touré Speed Surge. Bro, look at what you could do to your sentimental cards. What? If you put Speed Surge into some of these cards, they become so incredibly usable. Like, what? Like, these cards, like, not so much. Like, the shooting will definitely annoy you. But, like, Adriano, for instance, you know? If I played him mainly as a CDM, but people wouldn't really go down that route. Unless they think that he's going to get some sort of Evo in the future as well. But, yeah, a nice Evo, though, man. You could choose a lot of really good cards from this, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I'll catch you guys for next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.